What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin White Ranger. Here we do have the White Ranger in the packaging. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get them opened up, and I'll have a better look at the White Ranger. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have the White Ranger posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what White Ranger comes with. Tommy here does come with two alternate head sculpts. He comes with a helmeted head that he has on right now. And then he also does come with an unmasked head, which looks really good. I really do like the way they did the ponytail on the unmasked head. He also does come with two sets of hands. He comes with a pair of fists. He comes with a grip hand for his right hand. And then he comes with an open palm for his left hand. He also does come with the Saba sword, which can fit into his right hand. Or if you don't want him holding it, it does fit onto the side holster. And then we also do get a little effect that you can attach onto the blade of Saba, which looks really good. I am glad that we got something more than just his weapons. But other than that, White Ranger doesn't really come with anything else. Maybe if I was up to me, I would give him two grip hands and then two open palm hands, so he comes with a total of 3 pairs of hands. But as it stands, he's still a nice looking figure. So what we're going to do now is actually have a closer look at the White Ranger. And so here we have a closer look at the White Ranger, and I have his helmet on right now, which that's where I'm going to have him for the rest of the review. But if you do want to have him with the alternate head where he's unmasked and doesn't have his helmet on, you can do that, and you can actually have him holding the helmet, which looks really good. I am actually glad Hasbro did that with this Lightning collection. Looking at the mask or the helmet here, it's done exceptionally well. The paint job is really clean. I don't have any issues with the paint on mine. The gold is really sharp, crisp, and a really nice shade of gold. They could have gone with a pale gold, but they went this extra mile with this darker, almost orange type of gold. There's a lot more orange than yellow in this gold, which gives it that brighter feel, which looks really good. And it reflects beautifully. They did decide to go with the gloss on the helmet where his visor is, which looks really good. The silver is actually done really well. And then the helmet itself is done in a much glossier plastic than the rest of his outfit, which that's the way it should be. It's a helmet. It should have some sheen to it. But overall, just a really good job with the helmeted head. And it's not to say the unmasked head isn't bad. It really does look like Jason David Frank. You can see it does have the ponytail. My only gripe is that the eyebrows seem a little too light, and that's just the way it is with the photoreal faces, is that the eyebrows seem non-existent at some points. But moving on to the rest of the figure, you can see he does have his battle vest, which looks really good. They decided to go with a black gloss right here on the main part of the vest, which it does make the figures look really good. Again, they use this really nice rich gold that they really didn't have to use. They could have gone with a really pale gold, but I'm actually really glad that they did do this. You can see the paint job is really clean on this figure. I don't really see too many issues on mine, which I think that's a good thing. Right here you can see he does have gold armbands, which look really good. It looks like the left side is actually better than the right side. You can see how nice it looks here. Does look a little thin right here, going all the way around. Yeah, it does appear that it's a little bit thin on this side, but it's not a big deal. Moving on to his bracers, you can see they're done with black and gold. The outline is done really good, although it could be a little bit cleaner from a distance. You're not going to really notice that one little area. So just fantastic amount of paint work on this figure. You can see they even added the little texture to his gloves, so I really do like how accurate this looks to the on-screen costume. And that's something I really do like. The proportions on this figure actually look like it's somebody in a suit. You can see there's some wrinkles on the undersuit right here. Even though it is spandex, there were wrinkles in the suit, so I'm really glad Hasbro did go that route. You can see there's some more folds and wrinkles right here along his abdomen, especially right here on his pants. You can see a lot of folds, especially right here in the groin. Going on to the back, you can see some more wrinkles, some folds, and just overall a lot of detail went into this. Now, just like actual spandex, they decided to leave it smooth. I'm perfectly okay with that, just because, you know, Power Rangers didn't have any texturing on their costumes. It was just smooth. So I'm perfectly okay with that. It looks fine with the wrinkles. We go on to his boots with that same gold and black motif right here. Looks really sharp, really clean, really do appreciate that. Boots heavily wrinkled, just as I remember them from the TV show. Although I haven't really seen Power Rangers in 20 years, I really don't want to go back and see it because that'll just destroy my memories of it. But from what I remember, I do recall the boots on White Ranger being really wrinkly, and they did a really good job there. And then they also did sculpt some detailing on it. Although, I don't know if it's my imagination, but it looks like his boots are two different colors. Like maybe there's some yellowing right here on this boot that isn't on this one. You can't see it in person, but on camera I can obviously see a difference right here. But other than that, I think they did a really good job with the White Ranger here. So what we're going to do now is compare him to a few other toy lines you may have, so you can see how he scales to those figures. Here we have the White Ranger posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have the White Ranger posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we do have the White Ranger posed next to the Lightning Collection Lord Zed. And finally, here we have the Lightning Collection White Ranger posed next to the Bandai Legacy White Ranger. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to his articulation. Now, the White Ranger here has a surprising amount of articulation. He does have a ball joint in the head, although you really don't get too much movement out of it. He can look up slightly, and he can look down. We get some really slight head pivot, so a little bit of attitude. Does turn left and right. Is on a hinge which goes back about that far, comes forward about that far. Arms are on a ball joint. They do go all the way around. Thankfully, his vest is a softer plastic, so you don't have to worry about that hindering his articulation. It does hinder it a little bit, but it does move out of the way, so I really do like that. Arms do go out to about that far. We do have a bicep swivel. He is double jointed in the elbow, which goes really far up. He has a swivel and a hinge in the wrist, which works really well. I love how well that hinge is engineered. He actually does have butterfly joints, so his arms do move in and out, depending on how you want to have him posed. We do have a ball joint right here in the torso, so he can tilt to the side. So side-to-side tilting. He does lean back and forth, really good. We have swivel up here. Then we have a reverse ab crunch, which if you integrate both joints, you can see he does lean back about that far. Just the ab crunch alone, he leans forward that much. Adding the torso joint, he can go all the way forward. So really good articulation just in the torso. Because of that reverse ab crunch, he doesn't have any swivel here at the waist, but his legs do kick out forward to about there. They go back, go out to the side really well. Swivel at the thigh. He does have double bend in the knee, goes up really high. Really do like that. He has a boot cut swivel, which works really good. A hinge in the ankle, which goes back really far and goes forward quite a bit. Although, I do want to stress that his joints, well, it's not as tight as it used to be. Let's see on this side. Yeah, it is loosening up on me, but he had really tight joints when I got him out of the packaging. It is starting to work itself out, so they're not as tight. But my advice to you is when you get him out of the packaging, heat up these ankles, because they were really stiff on mine. But other than that, really good articulation. Hasbro actually knocked it out of the park with this figure. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Lightning Collection White Ranger posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do love the way this figure came out, and it really does harken back to the days when I was young and would watch Power Rangers with my brother. The White Ranger was always one of my favorites, so having him in hand and being one of the first figures in the collection was actually a really smart move. The paint apps on this figure are really done well. He scales actually surprisingly well to most other toy lines. If you want to say he's a teenager and he and that's the story you're going to stick with. He actually does fit in surprisingly well with DC figures and Marvel Legends. Overall, I would say this is a must-have figure for any Power Rangers collector out there, especially because this is probably one of the most screen-accurate figures we have gotten in a really long time. The wrinkles look good. I really do like the fact that they went with a softer plastic for his battle vest. So overall, this is a must-have for any Power Rangers fan. If you are looking for the Lightning Collection figures, they are starting to hit stores now. I was lucky enough to pick up my White Ranger from Black Sheep Comics. So huge shout out to the good folks of Black Sheep Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. The Lightning Collection is going to run you about $19.99 at most retails, so you're going to be paying about $22 after tax for this figure. If you can find this figure in stores, I really do recommend you pick them up. If you're a fan of the original Power Rangers Super Sentai or just want a really nice head sculpt of Jason David Frank, you're going to want to have this in your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Power Ranger videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And while you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.